Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I've got a ton of info to share with you today. We're going all over the place. We're going to be covering off the easiest ways to get the new Fragment Fusion. We are going to be covering off some of the news pieces which were kind of hidden in the text yesterday. Some pretty relevant stuff in there, so I thought it's worth just kind of picking it up. We're going to be looking at the multipliers for the new champions, and I'll show you how to get hold of those. And then just sort of like general info as well. There's quite a lot going on here. I've been told that there's free gifts for, here you go, Facebook Rush. Incredible. We sit at 300,000 likes at the moment. There's one more milestone, 500k. Basically, the 300,000 gets us legendary books. If they hit 500,000 likes on Facebook, then we get all of it again. The books. So it's not a bad thing to do to go and like this channel. But look, Legendary Tome just popped for me. Claim that free gift. Yes, please. So let's start then with a couple of the news bits which I didn't cover in yesterday's video, which I think are pretty relevant for people to be aware of. They dropped the patch notes kind of after the patch went live, and there was some different stuff in there to what I was playing with on the test server. So I talked about the tags. We have now got in the Doom Tower advanced quests. So added advanced quests for Doom Tower, added silver Doom Tower keys to the advanced quest pool, as if we need to do more repeat Doom Tower, to be honest. But anyway, fair enough. Some people might want to do that. We've also added a new milestone reward. I'll take us through that in a second. Let me just show you something from the game. So a few people have already asked me about this. They're like, is this a new champion? Can we get a new champion from Doom Tower? Who is it? Basically, if you can complete Doom Tower for the first time, there's this funky looking fella at the top here. It's an avatar. So it's actually an avatar for completing on hard. And then there is also, I believe, an avatar for completing on normal each month now as a first time thing. So yeah, it's just a nice little extra. I actually like that they do this. I think the avatars is something they should have done more of, and they are doing more of now. So that's actually quite a cool little development. You guys can go and win that if you complete the Doom Tower. In, not missions, in quests, we'll now see in the advanced section. I thought they added in a new chicken. Am I going insane? Okay, I guess it's not popped up for everybody yet. I guess it's going to be downloaded. This is my view on the test server. I've got a 4-star chicken sitting here at level 80. And the rewards now to get to legendary books go up to 275. But as a result of that, you'll see on my main account, we've now got in the advanced section 10 quests, not 9. So I guess this is going to pop up in the next day or so, an extra chicken to earn a day. And you're probably like, oh man, 25 more to get my legendary book. Well, actually, we get another quest a day. So it's still the same number of days of completing all the quests to get a legendary book. But they've just added in a 4-star chicken. So I actually think that's a good thing. I think good job. These do take a lot of time, in fairness. Some of them are absolutely easy to get. Some of them take a bit of time. Most of it is just do what you need to do in the game, though. So I think added in something for Doom Tower. Let's just see. Use 5 silver keys in the Doom Tower to get yourself a couple of brews. I mean, I guess you can auto battle. So as long as you could end up just doing it on the easiest possible level on normal, you'll do it in a few minutes, less than that. So it's not a bad thing. I don't love the way they force us to do like 5 tag team battles, 5 Doom Tower battles personally, because they take a lot of time up. But I guess if you want to get yourself these rewards on a monthly basis, then you just got to suck it up and get it done. But yeah, that's something that I hadn't seen yesterday. And as I say, it's not my main game, but it is on the test server. So I can only imagine that's going to drop in the next short amount of time. So that's something else in there, which is just something to be aware of. There's a few bits in the fixes as well. The big one I want to call out here is changed shield buff priority. So now when applying a shield buff on a champion who already has a shield, the highest value shield will be kept. That's actually massive. Like, people probably aren't aware of it yet. It's a huge thing. So, you know, if your madame has got a big old crisp shield and she decides to do an A1, I think it is, and she reapplies shield, in the old way, she would have reapplied this tiny shield, and eradicated her massive shield. Now that won't happen. She'll be sitting there with that juicy shield until it gets wiped off her. So this is actually really big, potentially big for clan boss champions as well that do like A1 shield. Someone like a Creeler that throws out a tiny shield with an A1. This is potentially big. It does seem to have broken Miscreated Monster, and they're aware of it, and they're kind of aware that they need to fix it. But overriding, this is big and good, but they've broken a champion in the mix. It's weird they don't test these things. But anyway, I'm not going to be negative. That's a good change. Let's get into the Fusion. So the Fusion event dropped yesterday. We've already got a bunch of these things going on. It says here, let's have a read through it. Yoshi the Drunkard. I did a guide on him yesterday. He's better than I thought he would be. And for a mid-game account, I think he's actually massive. I think he could be a massive champion. There's also something which I hadn't picked up on yet, which I saw when I was playing around with it after I made my video. I'm just going to show it here quick. A Krisk opponent like this, Arbiter plus Krisk is almost like his dream scenario. So, I've got him on the wrong account. Let's go back to my test server. Arbiter plus Krisk is like his dream challenge because Krisk, when you go into face him, let's have a look at this one here. Krisk and Arbiter, cool. When you go in to face a Krisk, your passive kicks in when he applies his first shield. So anyone who applies their buff when they go into combat, his passive will work. So you're going to get 16% of your turn meter filled just from Krisk entering the arena. So it's potentially a massive counter to Krisk. Not only because he gets 16% turn meter, but also because he's going to put out increased accuracy for your Madame to wipe that Krisk shield off. So potentially a massive counter to a Krisk team. Do you see this? See his passive pop up? He's gained 16% turn meter. We're now way ahead of everyone else, and we're going to increase our accuracy. If Arbiter had gone as well, damn, we would have got another 16%, plus we would have true-fid everyone. We did anyway that time, so we were lucky. But Madame, there's no way she's not ripping that off. And at that point, they're having a bad day. And it might actually be the end of Krisk. Not the end of Krisk, I guess, but it's a massive counter to Krisk in the arena. So something to bear in mind. So the more I kind of see him being used and the more I've played around with him, I feel like the more use cases there are for him being a decent champion. So let's get back into the Fusion. So what do we need to do to get this guy? Well, he's a Fragment Collector. I actually feel like the Fragment Collectors are way easier than the main Fusions that we used to get. Because you're not having to sort of do all of the potion keeps and all that type of stuff. So let's have a look. Summon Rush, 20 fragments. In total, you need 100. Let's see how many fragments you get without using any of the summoning stuff. Champion Training, 15. They're normally quite hard to do. Dungeon Divers, generally very easy. 15 in the bag there. Artifact, it's just whether you've got the silver or not. Another 10 in the bag there, so that's 25. Champion Chase is another summoning. Champion Training again. Dragon, Ice Golem, Fire Knight, Spider, Classic Arenas. The arenas are the easiest. All of the dungeon ones seem to be set at a pretty reasonable level. So that's 30. 40 if you include the artifacts. 55 easy fragments, I would say. You've then got to work on either doing the champion training, 60, 70, or the summoning stuff, 80, 90, depending on what you did. I didn't spend shards over this kind of crazy weekend because I wanted to save for this. You guys obviously would have done whatever you wanted to do. You can get an extra few fragments for if you come first or second on some of these stuff, but I would never count that as a given. Depends who you get in your tournaments. So you need to work out for yourself where to prioritize your time, where to prioritize your resources. There is going to be, or there is already actually, on the hellhades.com website already, just like a Yoshi the Drunkard Fragment Fusion Guide. You can click in here on a daily basis and we'll update you on the best things to be doing for that day. And if we look at the events that have already dropped so far, they do seem to have made him pretty accessible, like 2,000. We're not talking putting him as the main prize. He's like halfway for this one. Fusion warm-up had already happened. Don't forget to finish that off, guys. But I felt like for the Dragon event so far, he was at a pretty attainable level. But as I say, don't count on getting the top 2 because everyone's going to go after those. Classic Arena is always super easy. All you've got to do is basically just pump through a few arena battles. Normal, I guess unless you're in Bronze 1 or something, there's kind of no way that you shouldn't be kicking that one out the park. So, yeah, it comes down to really, do you have any shards to summon, I think. Coming on to that, we've just had news drop that there is a 2 times Sacred event this weekend. So we're kind of back into this flow now of 2 times 10 times, 2 times 10 times. We're on to Sacreds. I've said I'm not spending for March, and I'm holding to that, but I didn't use my Sacreds over that last 2 times event. So I've kept all of those. I am kind of keen to see some of the new champions pop. So I will be pulling shards over this weekend. I'll probably do a stream on Friday with fewer shards as well. But yeah, I've got 11 to pull, unless I manage to pull a couple more from Clan Boss. So it might be 12, 13 if I'm lucky. But yeah, there's going to be summoning event this Friday. And you're going to be able to have 2 times chance to get epics and legendaries from Sacred Shards. It's actually pretty cool. I mean, one of the things I wanted to cover in this video was multipliers of the new champs, because there's going to be a bunch of those new champions pulled. I am going to do a guide on a couple more of them from the test server. I'm probably going to do Jintoro, and I'll drop that later on today. But if, again, you go onto Hell Hades website, let me just get it back up. You can actually go into, as long as you're any former member, doesn't need to be paid, any former member, free members work as well. Go into champion lookup. Go into champion damage spreadsheet. So 2 ways you can do this. You can either just search for a champion. So if I wanted to see, let's say I got Jintoro. I could actually click on Jintoro here, and then you'd see, just as a kind of real quick and dirty, what's his multipliers like on his different skills, and how are they rated in terms of damage. So Jintoro, as an example, has got godlike damage rating across all his skills, which is huge. So it basically means he's in the top 15% of single target damage dealers on every skill, which is very rare, by the way. So yeah, very cool champion. If you want to get more info than that, you can click on this champion damage spreadsheet, and it will take you to this page, and then open it with whatever you want. Google Sheets is probably what most people will do, and you can download your own copy of this. So this is the spreadsheet which I've been working on some videos recently. It basically shows you their base damage. It shows you how much damage you will gain from a, just open it out a touch so you can see that, how much damage you will gain from a buff, like an increased attack or increased defense buff, depending on what type of champion they are. It will tell you how much damage you can gain from booking that champion, how much damage you can gain from masteries, and the masteries we've just written up here as a kind of base of what we're assuming you're putting on. Obviously, you can work out your own numbers on your spreadsheet based on what you actually put on someone and rework this. It's got multipliers in here, so as long as you increase the right cells to the right percentages, it will increase this box. And it gives you a total. Now, you do need to apply some own brain here. We can't do it all. We have made assumptions in this data. So, for example, on Jintoro, we've assumed for this level, he's using his 5-hitter, not his single hitter. Yeah? We've assumed for someone like, who's a good example? Raw Huntsman, he's that high because he ignores defense. For someone like an AoE hitter, let me find a good one. Good example. Robar. Robar, we're assuming that you're doing his setup. So we're assuming that you're putting a sleep or a freeze or a, I think it might be fear. Whatever it needs. Whatever it needs to do the full damage potential, we're assuming that you're doing that. Okay? So you need to bear that in mind. Also, if you don't have books, if you personally do not own any books, when you download your own copy, you can just zero out the book column and it will give you a new total, and that total will tell you who's your best hitter if books aren't involved. If you can't afford books or masteries, remove both of those columns, and then it will just tell you the kind of base damage. So you can manipulate this as you want. You can also filter it out by AoE or single target, whatever. You could also just filter out, to clear all of these and just tick names that you've got of champions. And then you can create your own drafts off the back of it. So, you could quite easily just pull a draft together, hide in a few columns like I did in one of my videos. So you can hide these columns. You can literally just say, right, these are my champions that I want to see. Insert, is it insert? No, data. Where is it in this? Insert chart. There you go. Insert chart, and it will just kind of show you different levels of draft. So if you want to pull it in using the total or using books or marshes, whatever, do whatever you need to do. But basically, you can manipulate the data however you choose to do it. So pretty useful. Download your own copy. All I would say is anytime the data changes on the website, we will update this spreadsheet here. So pretty much every time there's a patch, you're probably best to come back and download a new copy so you've always got the most relevant information. There's also just something in here. If you press the little plus button here, it tells you the assumptions we're making. So we're assuming that if someone gains damage from debuffs being on a target, that there's at least 5 debuffs present on that target. Same with if someone gains damage from buffs, we're assuming there's at least 5 buffs active. Okay, so read through the rules that we've set, because otherwise you're going to level a champion and you'd be like, hold on a minute, the damage isn't what we thought it would be. Well, that's probably because you're making different assumptions than what we are. And the cool thing about Raid is that you kind of do have to make assumptions to get the right results, or you do have to set things up in the right way to get the right results. So look, guys, as I said, tons going on at the moment. Good luck if you're going to be pulling your sacred shards over the weekend. Also, good luck if you're going for this fella. I actually think he's better than people are giving him credit for, so really worth your time, I think, if you can do it. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.